Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to our final Express Learning presentation of the afternoon. The best and most interesting shower enclosures of 2019, presented by Chris Phillips. Chris is the owner of Showcase Shower Door in Santa Cruz, California, and the moderator of the popular Facebook group Shower Door Professionals. Please join me in welcoming Chris.
Well, no one's really talking about this, but I think it's important that you know that the chemicals used in manufacturing shower curtains are actually released into the environment. And a PVC shower curtain contains as many as 108 different volatile organic compounds. Now, these VOCs are released and they accumulate over time. In fact, after 1 week, the indoor air quality in a bathroom with a shower curtain exceeds what's considered safe by as many as 16 times. Now, these standards are set by the U.S. Green Building Council. So think about it. If you had to work in an enclosed space with that level of toxicity, you'd have to wear a respirator if you wanted to be safe. Yet, every day, millions of people across the country are showering in this kind of a toxic environment. So not only are shower curtains ugly and disgusting and moldy, they may pose a health risk. That's right. Shower curtains are the problem. The good news is we're the solution. Shower door guys. Yeah, we're making the world a better place every day, one shower door at a time. And I'll never forget a funny story. I had this conversation with a competitor of mine, actually, another glass shop owner in Santa Cruz, and we were just kind of chatting and started talking about shower doors and just how great shower doors are as a product to sell. And he said to me, Chris, there's enough work doing nothing but shower doors. Somebody could open a shower door business in this town and stay busy and make lots of money. And I thought, man, that's a great idea. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So I started a shower door company. And it was the best decision I ever made in my life. First and foremost, I'm a glazer. I come from a family of glazers. I love the glass industry. It's an interesting dichotomy. If you're in the glass industry, that it's a very small craft, right? Very specialized. The average person doesn't even know what a glazer is. And yet at the same time, it's this vast industry with so many different facets. You can work in one little part of the glass industry your entire career and never really learn everything there is to know about just that one little facet, let alone all the other things that are going on in the industry. And a really cool thing about coming to Glassbuild is we get to really see all those things. There's things you see out there, I didn't even realize that was happening. But I love that, and I love being a part of it. The main reason I was asked to come and speak today is because of my involvement in the Shower Door Professionals group on Facebook. You can scan that QR code right now with your phone if you want. It'll take you right to the page. It's a closed group, so you have to get permission to participate. The cool thing about that is the stuff that we share on there is not viewed on Facebook generally, so you don't have to worry about a customer seeing something that you're posting. We can ask each other questions. We can share information that is kind of, I wouldn't say secret, but trade secrets. Yeah. I want to invite you to do that if you get a chance to. So in addition to the really cool shower enclosures that people post all the time that we get to see, installers come across other stuff, and we like to share that too. For example, here's a shower door that seems to have been about an inch too short. Gosh, don't you hate it when that happens? What are you going to do? Buy a new piece of glass? No, you're going to put an inch of shims underneath it. But straight. This picture on the left, probably the most basic shower door you'll ever see. It's a standard sliding bypass enclosure. It comes from a kit, right? A really important thing to know about these is those hangers on the top, they need to get glued on. If you don't glue them on, the glass will just fall out. So I'll look out for that. Some more creative shimming on that hinge there on the right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so these guys seem to have had like a surplus of shower hinges, and you decide to use them instead of clamps. I don't know. I think maybe this enclosure was designed to open like a clamp or something. Wouldn't that be cool? This has got to be my favorite one of the year. Now, this enclosure is actually built out of window screen material, right? So it's like bronze window screen bead, and like the lenses out of fluorescent light fixtures, and they put them together and made this kind of a gridscape-esque kind of enclosure. It's not very good. I don't know whether to love or hate it. I mean, the guy was very creative. I mean, got to give him credit for that. But anyway, that's just for fun. What we're really here to talk about is trends and profitability. And we could talk all day about that. Right? There are so many areas we could discuss. And there are a lot of things that are trendy but aren't very profitable. And then, there are things that are profitable that don't really trend. So what I thought was I'd just pick 3 areas that are both trending and profitable and just talk about those. And then we can get through this in about 20 minutes. And the first area that I think is really trendy and really profitable has to be barn door enclosures. These glass barn door enclosures have become really, really popular. And the great thing about them is that they're pretty easy to install and happen pretty quickly, and you can mark them up substantially. I remember I started seeing these about 15 years ago or so, and it was the Cardinal product that I remember seeing first, the Skyline series enclosure. That's the photo you see there on the right. It's the kind of old school, first original, 2 wheels on top of the door, 1 wheel on the bottom as kind of an anti-lift device. And I think it was a solid stainless steel pole, if I remember right. Used the fixed panel as part of the support system. And these were really popular. People really liked them. The photo on the left is a more modern one of their enclosures. And that's still a Cardinal enclosure. But one of the first things people started asking was, why can't we have 2 doors that slide? I want 2 doors that slide. And back in those days, we just didn't have the technology to do it. And over time, I started seeing some products with like 1/4-inch glass that had 2 sliders and a barn door enclosure sort of thing, but nothing with heavy glass. Until just recently, I think within the past couple of years, I got a flyer from CRL. Whenever CRL Lawrence comes out with something new, they send me flyers, say, hey, this is what's coming out, and it was the Cambridge series. And I saw this, it was like, wow. 2 3/8 panels that both slide. My customer's going to love this. So I decided, the next person who asks me about this, I'm going to sell them one of these things. So it wasn't long. Someone came in to look for something like this, and I had a flyer, showed them the flyer, and they said, oh, is this good? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's great. I didn't know, I'd never installed one before. It's like that first one of a new product that you sell. It's like, what do you say about it? Well, I don't know, it might be okay. I mean, you gotta tell people it's like, it's wonderful. And you're gonna love it. So I got it, I ordered one, and I just followed the instructions very carefully. In fact, the first one that I installed, I videoed the installation of it. So it took me probably 2 hours, a little more than 2 hours, to do this by myself and filming it at the same time. And it turned out awesome. I mean, it's so easy to install. There's a bracket on each side for the header. It takes 2 screws on each side. You get those laid out properly and install them right. And you cut the header bar and it just drops right in there. 2 wheels on top of each panel hanging. Put the 2 wheels on the bottom of each panel. Anti-lift device. And then there's a little guide at the bottom. 2 more screws down there. Really fast, really easy to install, very profitable. These things, people love them. And they're real money makers. One of the smartest things that they did with the Cambridge was they made the guide wide enough to accommodate not just the glass, but the little sweep on the bottom of the door. Now, this is something that I hadn't seen done on any of the barn door enclosures out there. So they tend to be very leaky, like all frameless shower enclosures. They don't hold water completely. But this little trick right here was great. And when I saw that, I was like really impressed with that. So kudos to CRL for that. Well, not to be outdone, 310 Tempering came out with their Phantom series. And they took this same principle, the same concept, just one step further, and they made the header out of all glass. And we started seeing photos of this getting posted to the Facebook group. People were just blown away. And I'm talking about shower door glass. Our shower door Facebook group is over 800 members now. So there are people from all across the country, people who install shower doors, people who own glass shops, people who are suppliers. And this really created quite a bit of buzz. These guys are out of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm in Santa Cruz, California. It's a long ways away. Yet I'm able to send them my order. They send me a KD kit, the header, made to size, and a couple boxes of hardware, and then I order the glass through my local supplier. Again, very simple, just a couple of screws at each side for the brackets. Drop the header in there, a couple of holes for the guide at the bottom, hang the glass, walk away. Be one guide in an hour, 2 hours, and very profitable. Second area I want to talk about is shower door design software. My experience has been with, again, C.R. Lawrence Showers Online. That's a program that I've been using for many years, maybe 10 years now. And the great thing about this shower design software is that you can show a customer exactly what their enclosure is going to look like. Now, in the old days, I would go out to the job and measure the job, and then take some sketches, and I'd get their information. I'd go back to my office, I'd sketch it up, send it to my supplier, ask them for a quote on the glass, figure out what the hardware was going to cost, put together a quote, and then send them back an email a day or two later, and then try to close the deal remotely like that. And it was tough. I was able to do it pretty well, but once I had this on my iPad, I can show up to the job with my iPad. I can pull it up, show them as I'm measuring, entering the information into the program. And another great thing about Showers Online is that it also figures out what the quote price is. So there's formulas that you can set. You of course can customize into your own settings. And it takes a while to get that set up, like quoting always does. But once you've got all those numbers figured out, you put in the sizes, and it tells you, like to the penny, what it's going to cost. So I'm able to put in the figures, show the homeowner, and say, here's what it's going to look like. And it's going to be exactly $5,924.32. And I normally get the first half down. And that's my closing question. And almost always they'll say, do you take a credit card? And I say, yes, I do. Okay, the third area I want to talk about in terms of trends and profitability is this hydrophobic glass rooms. These things are great, and there are so many companies out there. A lot of these you'll recognize. Diamond Fusion International is a big player. There's Diamond Seal. Rain-X even has something now like that. And I mean, I could probably fill 3 pages of logos of these different hydrophobic treatments that are available. But the great thing about them is, if you find one that you like and one that works for you, is there is very little that you can do to a shower room to add as much value at the end as one of these hydrophobic glass treatments. You can upgrade somebody's glass from like regular clear glass to low iron, or either some kind of fancy glass or some really fancy hardware. but your ratios always stay the same, right? I mean, if your markup is 50%, you're just going to get 50% of that additional markup. Upsell, right? With one of these glass treatments, you can really get a good chunk of profit right at the end. Now, I don't know exactly what it cost me to treat my glass with diamond seal or diamond fusion, but I estimate it's probably around $1 or $2 per pound. That's my guess. And it's something that can be done in the shop and something that can be done by someone with very little skill. And I sell this personally. I'm in Santa Cruz, California, and things are kind of expensive out there. I sell it for about $100 a pound. So if you can imagine, you've got a shower enclosure, all told, parts, labor, installation, sales tax, everything. Let's say it's $2,000. It's big. It's 2 pieces of glass. It's big. It's $2,000. If you can tack on another 10%, $200 at the very end, for a cost of like a couple of bucks a pound, that's a great deal. So, very profitable and very trendy. Now, another thing about these hydrophobic glass coatings was 10 or 15 years ago, people didn't really believe in that. It was like voodoo or something. It was like, oh yeah, we've got this treatment we put on your glass. It's not really a coating, it's actually, nanotechnology, and it'll prevent hard water stains. And people were like, their eyes would glaze over. They didn't know what you're talking about. Now it's been, a decade or more, and people are used to this, and they believe in it. So I highly recommend, if you're not selling this, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Thanks a lot for coming to listen today. It's really been a lot of fun talking to you guys. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, you should totally check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place to just see what's trending, see what other people are doing all across the country, get a lot of tips, tricks, and it's a lot of fun. Thanks a lot.